What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the other day, some new information came out about the brand new Hourglass remake, and I gotta be honest with you guys, this is probably what I'm, anticipating the most out of this brand new update. I'll be real, all the new content is cool and all, but, they have been talking about this Hourglass remake for so long. And also, it has probably been the most needed remake since day one, but it's been the one that, was kept until last. And they knew it's the one that needs to be worked on the most. So, I've always thought to myself, I wonder why it's taking so long. And ladies and gentlemen, I got to be honest with you guys. There's some bad stuff within this news for the remake, but at the same time, there's some information that I don't know. It might not be anything, but honestly, I am extremely excited, and I think it's going to be extraordinarily big. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep into this topic, if you do enjoy what you hear today and you want to hear some more content revolving around Call of Duty, Battlefield, X-Defined, other FPS shooters, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification button. And also, if you do want to go ahead and catch me live stream some video games, I will be live over on Kick today, probably around 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I think I might be dabbling in some Titanfall, maybe some plutonium, I don't know. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, if you want to check it out, chat it up with me, and even squad up with me. We always do open lobbies. The links to all of my socials are down in the description of this video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, there are some negatives when it comes to what I'm about to state here, but at the same time, I just think it's a lot of potential out of this one. I really do. And with all the time that it took them to put this together, this might be the real deal. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read them all, obviously, and then I'll dissect them bit by bit. I don't want to, read one off, dissect it, read another one, dissect. Now, I'm going to let you know everything that they're doing in Hourglass, and then, like I said, I'm going to give my 2 cents on the overall situation here. Now, like I said, from Battlefield Bulletin over on Twitter, they went ahead and said, Season 5, New Dawn, Hourglass 2.0. Reduce the map size to decrease the downtime between objectives. All primary routes have cover objects. The village is now a fortified military base. New starting point on Breakthrough. The skyscrapers are set on fire. And then also they go on to say, the bridge is now collapsed with a large crater in the center. And the new underground area is located below the arches, littered with destroyed vehicles and plenty of coverage. Now, let's go ahead and start off with the very first point, because this is where a lot of people are a little iffy with this overall situation here, with them saying that they're reducing the size of the map Hourglass itself. I've seen some complaints about this, and honestly, I see where a lot of you guys are coming from, and I partially agree as well. I don't know. I feel like the Battlefield community is starting to, take on this Call of Duty mindset. And, I always criticize the Call of Duty community about it as well. But for some reason, like, everybody is so against medium to large maps now. Like, if it's not like Nuketown, Rust, status like that, or Operation Lockers or something like that, nobody wants it. I don't know where this mentality has come from, because, a lot of these games have had really well-designed medium to large-sized maps. I will agree that they haven't been that fantastic recently, especially in Call of Duty. But in Battlefield, pretty much all the remakes have been pretty darn solid. I've enjoyed a lot of them. And I don't think that, we have to necessarily decrease the size of Hourglass. I'll be real with you guys. It's not going to make me angry because I'm an infantry player, So obviously it's going to fit me perfectly. But for everybody else out there, I feel like there should at least be one map that's good for vehicle combat, right? It's always in every single game. Battlefield has maps like that. Call of Duty has maps like that where, it's perfect for snipers or very long-range players. It's always going to be that one open set map that, will allow you to have a different type of playstyle. And Battlefield always has that, where vehicles can roam and enjoy themselves, snipers can have their sniper battles, so on and so forth. And yeah, if you're an AR SMG player, it's not going to suit you very well and you're going to hate it. But at the end of the day, it's not like every map is designed around that. And to be real, Battlefield 2042, especially after they have reworked all the maps now, they all play good for infantry. Before, they were all vehicle maps. I mean, the maps were god-awful. It made no logical sense. Again, the game was revolved around a BR, so it made sense how the maps were actually put together. But after all the reworks, I mean, a lot of them, pretty much all of them, are fantastic for infantry. I can always get to point without even having to worry mostly about vehicles, because there's so much cover, there's a lot of routes now. They did a pretty darn good job. We don't have any maps that are good for vehicles and snipers. And I know this is totally against everything that I live for when it comes to Battlefield, because I'm an infantry player. But I just think it's fair to have something like that. But at the end of the day, decreasing the size of the map, I don't know if it needed to be done. because the rest of the points I think would have obviously resolved it, like obviously adding a lot more routes that have cover objects and stuff like that, which they mentioned. That could have been done with the map keeping its scale, and it would have been more fun. But again, I don't know how small they decreased it. They might have just cut off like a couple of edges, and that's what they mean by decrease. So we're kind of jumping to conclusion here, but that was the only negative, like I said. But adding more cover objects, that's fantastic. They do that in all the other maps, nothing crazy with that one. The next point was the village is now a fortified military base. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys. It's not bad to add the military vibes to Battlefield 2042. That's what a lot of people wanted. But, the village was probably the best section of this map. Now, in Conquest, it's all right, especially when it gets all destroyed. Then it's kind of, a boring spot to be in. But in Breakthrough, when, either the game just ends because you can't push past that point, or you defend it very well, or when you do push past that point and you make it to the rest of the map, while you're in that specific section on Breakthrough, it's just outstanding. All of the destructibility, how the buildings crumble down, how, the action goes out with tanks rolling through. It's outstanding. It's a great section of the map, probably the best section of the map. And, again, I don't mind them turning it into a military base. I just hope they keep the same vibes of what the original village gave off. I hope that this new military base can crumble, can be torn to shreds, can be absolutely ran through, and is completely destructible, because that's what makes the first sector so amazing. At least for me personally. Everybody always shares different opinions, obviously. But for me, I love that about the village. I loved it jumping from building to building. I loved, exploding the walls, riding tanks through the buildings, so on and so forth, coming in with helicopters and destroying the buildings as well. Because at the end of the day, like I said, yeah, it kind of sucks when it's all flattened. But on Breakthrough, you're either going to lose the game because you can't push through it and you go on to the next map, or, like I said, you have a good defensive round and you hold it down and all that action's going through. But it's not like it's going to be flattened and you have to play like that for the rest of the game. It's either flattened and you lose, or it's flattened and you move past it and you go on to the next OBJ. It just worked very nicely in my opinion, so I hope they keep the same vibes. But the next point here is probably the most crucial point of the overall video, and it's the one that I was talking about a bit earlier when I was saying that this could either be nothing or it could be something that is going to be absolutely game-changing. Because I'll be completely honest with you guys, Hourglass as a whole right now, from what I've been hearing and seeing, it doesn't seem like this map should have taken this long to, be put out to the crowd. I think that this point is going to be a crucial one, and that's the skyscrapers are set on fire. I don't know. Again, it could be something extremely simple where the skyscraper is literally just set on fire and that's it, nothing else. But there's not enough events when it comes to Battlefield 2042. The only event that we have is an orbital when a rocket takes off, and it's absolutely epic. It's the best part, literally the best part about the whole game of Battlefield 2042. And I feel like a lot of the community thought that, as Battlefield evolves and it becomes next gen, and as technology evolves, and as EA keeps getting a lot more money in their pockets, we will be able to get a game that would be able to hold more maps, which could have more events like stuff like that. Because that's what makes Battlefield Battlefield. Not completely, obviously. It's not the only thing that makes Battlefield cool, but, it was always so great for the atmosphere of the overall franchise to have little things like this, And with Battlefield 2042 coming out, and we only see one major event, it's kind of a letdown. But like I said, hearing that these skyscrapers are going to be set on fire makes me think that they are literally going to be set on fire and potentially crumble. And if it's like Siege of Shanghai status, that is going to be absolutely epic. Imagine the destruction that will actually, put out, and how it's literally, we're in the middle of a desert. It's going to pick up all the sand, it's going to push it out. It's going to be insane actually fighting on those flags in that area. Having something like that would be huge. And again, I can see something like that taking up as much time as they did to put this map out to the public. If that is how this is going to turn out, then I completely understand why Hourglass took as long as it did. If this isn't going to be a thing, if it's not going to be any crazy destruction, then I don't know. I personally think they should have done Hourglass a bit faster. I was still shocked back when they upgraded Orbital, when they did Orbital again, because Orbital once again was like my favorite map in the game. It was outstanding, and when they updated it again, I'm like, really? They're doing this one again before all the others? So I'm hoping that this is going to be massive. And these skyscrapers, when they catch on fire, they are going to go down. And then, of course, the whole underground area where the bridge is at. The bridge is now collapsed with a large crater in the center, and the new underground area is located below the arches, littered with destroyed vehicles and plenty of coverage. Honestly, again, like I said, as an infantry player, someone who enjoys, SMG gameplay, AR gameplay, stuff like that, this doesn't seem too bad to me. It's something that, honestly, I think sounds pretty cool. You're going to have your underground area with a lot of vehicles that you can fight in between, so again, good for infantry. Sounds like you're going to have a partial city area. They're going to focus on the buildings maybe a little bit more. Not, like what we want where it's like a full city that we're fighting through. But, that area might be a little bit more easier to have combat within. And then, of course, the whole village is being turned into a military base. I believe they chopped off the actual stadium. So they have basically decreased that overall size of what Hourglass is. And it seems like it's going to be a lot of combat, and it's going to be easy to be able to jump from point to point. At the end of the day, it sounds pretty cool. But realistically, I want to hear your guys' opinions. Do you guys think it's bad that they're decreasing the size of this map? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's good that they're adding all of this stuff into it? And also, what do you think about the buildings? Do you think them catching on fire is going to be a legitimate, event? Or do you think it's just something that, they're just going to catch on fire and that's it? Maybe you can see them, blazing up from the distance while you're fighting with everybody else. Or, when the sandstorm comes through, you can see them. I don't know. At the end of the day, I hope it's going to be a cool event. And honestly, I can't wait to be able to dive in and actually enjoy Hourglass now. All the remakes I've enjoyed. I can literally play them all and not have a bad time. And I appreciate that out of these reworks. So I'm hoping Hourglass, can finally be a map that I can put in that rotation, because right now it's the only one that, that I still say, oh, no, not again, man, when it comes up in the rotation. It might just be a personal thing, but that's just how I feel towards it sometimes. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. Moments I hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, this to do so, Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch. Link that's in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.